What's going on, everybody? Here it's a Cool Shirt Monday to kick off another week of live racing here at Parks Racing. Beautiful day outside, a little bit humid. We'll talk about all the racing action coming your way here from Bensalem, Pennsylvania. We had a big week last week at Pennsylvania Day at the races. We had our prep races for Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby and Cotillion Day, so it's all coming at you here pretty soon as we get set to enter the month of September. But as always, before we kick things off, let's take a look at some of last week's winners. It was taking a look at our stakes racing action. This is the Parks Playback.
Parks Playback time, here we go. It was Pennsylvania's Day at the races on Monday. Love in the air. Trainer John Service right back in the winner's circle. Paco Lopez aboard for the dominant victory. Then Remain Anonymous. It was a last to first big move. Robert Falcone Jr. shipping in and Rod Ortiz Jr. picking up the victory and the upset over Chubb Wagon. Smooth B and Frankie Pennington driving away here at the finishes, opening up on the field. Trainer Butch Reed had a huge day, and this was one of his winners. Florida Sombra, she's the dominant 2-year-old on the circuit. She's a Pennsylvania bred with a promising future. Sylvester Gonzalez for Guadalupe Preciado, dominant once again. 90% Matty, now 2 for 2 in his career. The young 2-year-old trained by Butch Reed. Frankie Pennington, big time win in the 10th. Then came For the Love of Bourbon. It was Paco Lopez one more time. For the Love of Bourbon, besting Barron. They've got a nice rivalry building here in Pennsylvania. This time it was For the Love of Bourbon who was your victor. Two Boss, Kendrick Carmouche, the Big Gray, comes back right here at Parks and wins the big one. Trainer Todd Pletcher with the score. Then we move to our big stakes racing program in preparation for the Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby and Cotillion Day. It was the Parks Dash. Moved to the main track, trainer Kate DeMasi. Violent Turbulence. Sylvester Gonzalez with another stakes winner on the afternoon. Then it was Green Up in the Catherine Sophia Stakes. How promising is this 3-year-old filly? A big-time run over Interstate Daydream. Rod Ortiz Jr., Todd Pletcher, they team up one more time. And then it was a Smarty Jones Stakes. Best Actor in a Starring Role, Florent Giroux for Brad Cox. We'll see if they come back on September 24th for the Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby. Have a great week.
Really impressive performances there from some of the horses that could be pointed to Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby and Cotillion Day. It's all coming your way on September 24th, so looking forward to that. Let's take a look at some of the 10 races here on the card. Going to take a look at all of them here as we got some time on today's show. Race number 1, we take a look at the number 5 in here, and this is my top pick when you're taking a look at Isabella Smile. I thought this was a pretty tough race to kick things off, but Alexander Martinez, they've done pretty well off the claim. This horse doesn't have to run that great from a number standpoint. If this horse can replicate what this horse did last time at this $5,000 level, should get the victory, but we'll see. Has to come from well off the pace, a little bit warmer, some humid temperatures. We'll see how speed is holding this afternoon. This is a horse that likes to come from off the pace, so we'll go with the 5 here in race number 1. Race number 2, taking a look at the 7 furlong race. I thought that pretty tough race, and we're going to take a look at a race replay coming up on the live show a little bit later on. But you take a look at Closet Shopper. Horse did not break very well last time, a little bit slow out of the gate, got really far back, and her stablemate actually ended up winning the Goddess of Snakes, was chasing an easy tempo early, closed into it. Kind of a sneaky effort. She finished 4th, beaten 8 3/4 lengths, but the rest of the field is not catching up to those top 2 runners in there. So we'll see if this horse is a little bit closer to the early action, has a big late closing kick, and can get the job done. But a competitive race there. Kisses for Emily coming back. You see a horse like Brooklyn Heights. This is a competitive field in that second race. We're going to take a look at one of the big performances from last week. It was a 2-year-old filly with a very promising future here. It was a big debut. Let's take a look at that performance of the week. There was the performance of the week. That was trainer Marya Montoya, and that performance was so good we had to get a chance to get back there on the backside and actually talk to Marya Montoya as she talked about this promising 2-year-old filly. Talk to the judge.
She was real promising in all her works, so we had high hopes. About 6 or 7 works in them before they run. I usually use the exercise rider until like the last work or two. With her, she was going so strong that we never took the exercise rider off of her. Every time she'd ever worked, the exercise rider said, I can't let her run, that she's just, dragging me around there. And everybody else that she was working with was sending. So, I'm not about times. So I said, just let her do it within herself and don't ask her. So that's everything I wanted to say. The only thing, she did stand with her legs spread out a little bit at the gate. In her last work, she broke like 2-1 top. So yesterday, she honestly broke okay, but she didn't break great. So they said she was kind of standing a little bit spread, and every time they got her to stand up, she would cross her legs. So, just a little fidgety in there, not bad. Michael said she galloped out real strong. The family pretty much does run one turn. So looking towards some Delaware certified races. She's Delaware certified, Maryland bred, so Maryland Million. She's Virginia certified, so she's got a lot of options.
Talk to the judge there, does have a lot of options. We'll see where that promising 2-year-old filly off that debut will show up next. Right here, stable at Parks Racing. Race number 3, 6 furlongs the distance here, and you take a look at this race. I'm going to go with the number 2, Perfect Mistress, Scott Lake, off of 2 good wins. Wins at the maiden $20,000 tag at Churchill, comes right here, wins impressively by 2+ lengths. I think takes the next step forward here. Let's go with the 2, Perfect Mistress, gets the job done here for the Scott Lake barn. Race number 3 on the turf this afternoon, turf rated as firm. 22 feet will be the turf rail setting when you take a look at race number 4. 5 furlongs, maiden $16,000 effort in here. Refund Wriggler, it just seems like this horse has handled the turf. I mean, you take a look at some of the other runners in here at this level. This horse just seems to be knocking on the door, right? Had run on the dirt, tried that race at Delaware, second beat in the neck. This horse just really relished moving to the grass. Now gets the grass once again here this afternoon. I think Refund Wriggler gets another win here for Jamie Ness and Ruben Silvera teaming up. Had some works coming into that race. Off of that July effort, now comes into this race, seems to be fit. I like Refund Wriggler, short price there in today's 4th race. We're going to take a look at what we got coming up on September 24th. Of course, it's Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby. Check it out.
This year, Parks Racing is proud to announce the 2022 Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby is now the Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby. Join us on Saturday, September 24th for all the graded stakes action. 10 stakes races total, including 5 graded stakes races. The free hat giveaway and fun for the whole family, where parking and admission are always free. Highlighted by the Grade 1 Cotillion Stakes and the Grade 1 Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby. Gates open at 11 a.m. First post time is 12:05. Join us on Saturday, September 24th for the biggest day of racing in Pennsylvania.
That's right, Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby and Cotillion Day, both Grade 1 races. Should be looking at some nice fields. We're going to see those contenders, nominations, and who's going to end up lining up in the gate as we take a look at that race. Already started talking to some people that seem to know or seem to be, kind of giving a sense of which 3-year-olds are going to be showing up in the gate that day. And we've seen a lot of stakes racing action all over the country. So as we get closer and closer to those 2 big Grade 1s, 10 stakes races on the card. Taking a look at the 2-year-old races as well, as you saw some of those performances from Florida Sombra. She's going to have a big shot. If they do point to September 24th, she'll end up being one of the big favorites, of course. 90% Maddie had that big performance in the 2-year-old race for the Colts and Gelding. That should be a horse that, if pointed again to September 24th, they have a big shot as well. So those added stakes races, you've got the Gallant Bob, you've got the Turf Monster, just a jam-packed card, sensing the excitement already. A lot of people talking about Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby and Cotillion Day. Hopefully you can come out and join us again. The gates are going to open at 11. First post time is going to be 12:05. Free parking, free admission. Come on out and join us here in Pennsylvania for all the stakes racing action. Race number 5, maiden $25,000 race in here, 6 furlongs will be the distance. Taking a look at the number 5, Road to Dreams. I just wasn't sure where else to go in this race. At the maiden $25,000 tag, the horses that we've seen already run in these spots, they just haven't quite shown the ability to get the job done here at this level. So am I going to side with horses here that have had 3, 4 career starts and just have not shown up? Or do I go for the new face in the crowd here, first-time starter? I'm going to side with going with the new face in here. So the 5, Road to Dreams, a 2-year-old filly by Cross Traffic, purchased for $20,000. You get Abner Adorno. I like the post draw here, a little bit towards the outside, 30% for the barn here, debuting in a maiden claiming event. So Road to Dreams, for the connections that continue to do very strong work. I guess maybe a little bit interesting that Frankie Pennington's going to end up on the inside runner in Dana's Big Day, a horse that I don't have in the top 3. So when you take a look at Dana's Big Day, a 2-year-old filly by a Fleet Alex, Frankie Pennington's going to take that mount there. Inside draw, not crazy about the rail draw in a spot like this, but I think Road to Dreams is the top choice. We'll see what happens here with some of the other runners, My True Passion and also Girl from Outer Space. I think she'll show some improvement here for the Lou Linder Jr. barn. Maybe some of that progression puts her in the mix as well. That's in today's 5th race. Race number 6 is going to kick off the Philly Big 5 this afternoon with 10 races on the card. The Philly Big 5 got hit on Wednesday for over $350,000. So congratulations to that single ticket. It wasn't me. I know you guys are asking, but it wasn't me out there. Hopefully it was one of you bettors out there that hit that single ticket winner in the Philly Big 5. $350,000 was the payday on Wednesday. So it all starts back over. We'll see what happens here this afternoon, but you get involved in the Philly Big 5. We'll see if there's a carryover, what that jackpot will be going into tomorrow if there is one. Race number 6 at 1 mile, $5,000 claiming event in here. I went with the number 5 Political. You could go a lot of different directions in this race. It does look like a very difficult start to this Philly Big 5 sequence. When you take a look at the 5 Political, 5-year-old gelding by Constitution for Trevor Gallimore. They tried the $10,000 level last time. Ran second, beating a nose at Delaware at the mile and 70-yard distance. Dexter Haddock was aboard last time. He's going to be back aboard today. They were finishing behind Risque Rebel, who's just been on fire. That horse continues to win races in bunches. So Political, 5-year-old gelding, coming back down to the $5,000 level. I do think that this horse has a pretty strong chance to improve and get back to that really nice run 2 starts back. Has not been great at Parks. This horse is 0 for 17 with 1 second and 2/3 here at Parks. But when you take a look at some of the runners in this field, it just seems like Political might be a little bit better form than some of the other runners in this race. So the 5 is the top choice. You could really spread in this leg, the first leg, I should say, of that Philly Big 5. But American Fleet would be another one I took a look at. Just many different ways you can go in here. Maybe you run a little bit deep here in that first leg of the Philly Big 5. We're going to talk about the pick 4 here in just a moment. The late pick 4. It's a cool shirt Monday. Hopefully you're wearing a cool shirt out there. I am. This is my Valentine's Day shirt, but you know, why not? It's Valentine's Day in August. Why not? Let's celebrate it right here at Parks Racing. Hey, we got a chance to catch up with a trader that has always seemed to hit some big long shots in some of those big graded stakes races that you can see across the country. He's got a lot of good runners. He's going to talk about a 2-year-old as well that did run on Friday at Saratoga. You'll see that in this upcoming package. But we got a chance to catch up with Uriah St. Louis talking about some of his contenders right here at Parks.
He came out, as I say, he ran in the Met Mile, and that was a tough race. And then after that, he came back and he ran in that next race at Monmouth Park, and he got in a little bit of trouble. Got beaten 4 lengths, I think, that day. And we just was training him, he was training real good, and we trained him up to the next race, and he liked Monmouth Park. We have 2 choices right now that we're looking at. If he's okay enough, we will bring him back in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. If not, we'll wait till the Woodward. That's our plan right now. We were going to run Friday in a New York bred stake, and I think it's a Funny Side is the name of the stake. It's 6.5 furlong, 6-horse field, and he's doing great. He's doing fantastic, and hopefully he could run the same race he ran the first day. He's still the same horse. He's just goofy. He does goofy stuff, but he's just a runner. He could run, and hopefully he could keep it up. He's a Mendelssohn, and hopefully he gets better while he's getting older. But he's doing great, training great. Now he's more relaxed, I think, from the first race. The first race he was kind of like headstrong, but now he's real relaxed, and hopefully he could carry it on.
Uriah St. Louis talking about informative. We'll see where he ends up next, but that horse continues to improve. Obviously, has just really found a good stride here for the barn, picking up wins left and right. Belt Parkway did run on Friday at Saratoga. We'll see where that New York bred does end up next. Finished okay in that race. You know, it was a tough field in there, but we'll see where the New York bred ends up going by Mendelssohn. So he's got some chance to improve as he continues to progress. Race number 7, we get into the pick 4. Scoop Dog's going to be the top pick here, the number 1 as we get into that late pick 4. It just seems like if this horse runs back to that number, that last effort, this horse is going to be really well meant in this spot. Joe Taylor, Anthony Nunez, If you go back and watch the stretch run, actually, Anthony Nunez asked him a little bit through the lane just to kind of keep his mind on racing, and then he did a little bit of the twirling there of the crop, just kind of a little showmanship there for the crowd, as it was a dominant effort, and we'll see if Scoop Dog can do that once again. 5-year-old gelding by Jumpstart, Anthony Nunez will be back aboard. When we take a look at race number 8 in here, back on the turf, a mile and 16th, this is a competitive race in here. When we take a look at this field, Tick, 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 boom. This just seems like a horse. This is a drop in class here for trainer Alan Bedard. If this horse is anywhere near 4-1, that's tremendous value and some good odds here on this runner. Look, when you take a look at the numbers he's been posting, they've been excellent. She's been posting, I should say, 4-year-old filly. She's just been running against much tougher runners than she's been seeing in this race. Now, I will say, she's finished behind Madame Rouge, but that was on the main track. This race scheduled for the turf. Back on the turf this afternoon. I think they find a nice spot in here. Jonathan Ocasio has been aboard. It depends on how far back she's going to be, but she's got a big late closing kick. She's been at Laurel and Colonial in her last couple starts. I think she finds a nice spot here back at Parks, and we'll see how she does perform. But she's definitely got the class to get the job done here and beat this field in race number 8. We're going to talk about the late double here in just a moment, but speaking about a double, we had trainer Carlos Guerrero and Guadalupe Guerrero. They had a double of their own. Their family was out here last week, and of course they win races back-to-back on the same card there on Wednesday. We got a chance to catch up with Guadalupe Guerrero and talk about his runner who had an impressive win last week, and talk about what it's like to win with family in the crowd and then also win right after his brother had trained the winner right before that. Check it out.
You know, I didn't give it too many instructions to Paco. He thought it was kind of a speedy race. So I said, well, sit behind and do what you have to do. But when he took the lead so easily, I was wondering if we can keep going 6.5. She was kind of comfortable, and we got a long enough lead that I was looking at the wire. I said, I think we have a chance to win it. You know, good job and thank you. There's nothing to talk about it. You know, you don't give too many instructions to a guy like that. It's always nice to win and grateful for the win. They came from California. They came from one of my niece's weddings. So they came to visit, and they got lucky. They take 2 pictures. We didn't talk about it, but I thought if it happens, that'd be great. But we really didn't know. I mean, I was hoping, but, you know, there was nothing for sure. Yeah, it's always, you know, it's always nice to win, and more when they come to visit you. So everybody happy. I'm very happy the way things are right now. You know, it's a good start anyway, so keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully it just keeps going that way.
That's a very cool moment there for the Guerrero family, winning back-to-back races. Their family was in town for their niece's wedding, and how about that? They picked up a couple winners there, back-to-back on the card there on Wednesday. Race number 9, 6 furlong starter race. When you take a look at this effort in here, this is a tough field here in race number 9 to kick off that double. Franz Warrior is going to be the top pick. Jerome Barbosa will be aboard. Horse won at Monmouth last time, 2 starts back. Kind of regrets a little bit. Had that 6 beaten 2+ lengths, but that was a tough field. There were tightly bunched as they reached the top of the stretch. I think you do catch some value, and Franz Warrior has just been really good at this 6 furlong distance. 11 for 23 at the distance. Other runners in here have not fared as well at 6 furlongs, so let's take a shot with a little bit of value in a very tough field. The 6 Franz Warrior is the top pick. Race number 10 as we get into the last race on the afternoon. 7 furlongs being the distance in here. I'll go with the number 2, Just a Thought, Scott Lake, Andy Hernandez. They'll team up 1 for 6 at the distance. When you take a look at this 4-year-old gelding by Uncolino, last couple races have not been great, but they come back at the 12.5 level. I think if you can take a look at that last effort as the beaten favorite, maybe you give a little bit of excuse. You know, the barn is just kind of getting acclimated to this new runner. Claim this horse here for the 12.5, comes back into this 12.5 level, has had a little bit more time to work with the horse, and as a beaten favorite, you can't just bail on this horse right away. Now you're going to catch a little bit more value. Maybe some of the bettors back off a little bit. I like Just a Thought number 2, but Buffalo Shuffle does have early speed, the 1, so I do think that this horse can be a pace presence and maybe has a chance to take him all the way at that 7 furlong distance. But as Craig Donnelly has always said, when he's in here handicapping, it's very tough to break from the inside going 7 furlongs here at Parks, so we'll see how that horse does break and if that horse can take him right to the winner's circle in the finale. Speaking of the finale, I'm getting out of here for Out of the Gate. Let's talk about some of our social media channels where you can check us out. Follow us on all of our social media content right here at Parks, at Parks Racing, at In the Grandstand on Twitter. You can hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at Parks Racing, and of course on the gram. Check us out at Instagram. It is Parks_Racing. Happy to have you join us here for another week of live racing. Don't forget to mark your calendars down for everything we got going on. Labor Day, we got the cup giveaway if you're here on site. It's a free drink cup with lid. We're going to have all kinds of great stuff for the Owners Appreciation Day as well. And join us for Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby and Cotillion Day on September 24th. All the great racing action is coming up right here at Parks. We'll see you next week on Out of the Gate.